Hey everyone, it's me again, and today we are going pretty low-key, pretty lazy. I've had pretty much the month from hell so far. There's been a lot of shit going on in my personal life, and I just, my skin is showing it. Like, can you tell? Like, hello, breakouts everywhere. But today I'm just gonna do something fun. I'm gonna do just something really low back and laid key. What? Laid back and low key, just kind of keep it simple, just to relax and spend some time with you guys. So today I'm going to be doing the 40 beauty questions tag. I think it's a tag. I don't know. It's 40 questions about beauty related stuff. I saw Tori over at Biohazardous Beauty do this, and I was like, huh, that looks like fun. I'm gonna do it too. I'm also experimenting with different like filming orientations, so if the background looks a little weird, if my camera looks a little crooked, just look past it. Look past it. It will be fixed as time goes on. I'm gonna go ahead and take a drink of the something here, and then we're gonna get started. We talk about like this flask is the size of my head. I got it from my in-laws, and I don't know what they're trying to tell me, but don't panic. There's just water in here, I promise. Hydration. So, let's go ahead and get to it. The first category is skincare. How many times do you wash your face daily? Twice. What skin type do you have? Dry, oily, combo? I have combination skin, I would say at the moment. I do get really oily around my nose and a little bit oily on my forehead, but the rest of my skin stays pretty normal. The tops of my cheeks get oily too. So I would say I'm kind of combination. What is your current facial wash? I currently use the CeraVe non-foaming facial wash, the one in the green bottle. I have a whole video about my newest skincare. I'll leave it up there in case you guys want to check it out. But it has the actual name of the bottle, but that's what I use. I still use the same thing. Do you exfoliate? Not exactly. I did start back up on Retin-A, which is, I mean, it's tretinoin, so I guess it's technically an exfoliant. So maybe, but do I use like a face scrub? No, not really. My skin is pretty sensitive, so I tend to just be really gentle on it and not use any harsh scrubs like that because they tend to irritate me. What brand do you use? I'm assuming they mean of exfoliator. And to answer that question, I use Aveda, which is the brand of my Retin-A. So there's that. What moisturizer do you use? Depends on the time of day. During the day, I use the CeraVe AM moisturizer with sunscreen, and in the evenings, I use Embryolisse Le Crème Concentré. It is brilliant. It's my favorite evening time moisturizer ever, ever, ever. Do you have freckles? No. Do you use eye cream? No, even though I know I probably should, especially now since I'm not getting nearly as much sleep as I was due to life happening, but I don't. I'm just plumb too lazy most of the time. Do you or did you have acne-prone skin? Yes, I currently have acne-prone skin. Did you ever have to use Proactive? I've been told that I should try Proactive, but I haven't used it because honestly, all Proactive is benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid mixed together, which, I mean, benzoyl peroxide didn't really work, salicylic acid didn't really work, so why would the two in conjunction work any better than they did by themselves? So yeah, I never really bothered with it. Now on to makeup questions. What foundation do you use? It depends on the day. I switch my foundation up a lot. I like to try new things. Lately, I've been using the Eve Pearl 4060 Dual Foundation. I have it right here. This is in the shade Light. It is not my color, so at the moment I'm using this with the goal of eventually using it up and buying one that is closer to my shade. So yeah. How about concealer? Concealer right now is Eve Pearl again. This is the Eve Pearl Dual Salmon Concealer in Light. I really only need to conceal my under eyes a lot of the time because I'll use foundation and it'll cover up most of the redness on my acne stuff. But it's usually this for my under eyes because it's fantastic. It's a beautiful formula. I love it. And then if I really need like extra coverage on like redness or spots or whatever, I'll use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, also in the shade Light. Do you know your undertone color? Yes, I know my undertone. I am neutral undertone, which means I have a mix of pink and yellow in the undertones of my skin, but I do tend to lean on the yellow side. So I am neutral, but I lean yellow. What do you think of fake lashes? Considering I have 3 pairs right here, I absolutely love them. I love them, they're great. Did you know that you're supposed to change your mascara every 3 months? Yes, I do know that. Do I do that in my personal life? Not as consistently as I probably should. I do change the mascaras in my kit regularly though, because that's obviously like way important, but that takes priority over my personal mascara. What brand of mascara do you use? Currently, I'm using the CoverGirl Supersizer Mascara. I absolutely love this stuff. It's amazing. So good. The waterproof one is really good as well. Sephora or MAC? Oh, Sephora. All day, every day. Like, all day. Even though I usually prefer to shop from indie brands, yeah, Sephora. I mean, Sephora actually sells cruelty-free makeup. All tea. No shade on MAC, but they're not cruelty-free. And they just have a lot more brands that I like, and they have a pretty good point perk system. So yeah, I do tend to like Sephora a lot better than MAC a lot of the time, because MAC is kind of overpriced. What makeup tools do you use in makeup application? I use brushes. I feel like most everyone uses brushes. I've got some brushes right here from when I was gonna do my makeup yesterday, but I never had the time to. But yeah, I use brushes, mostly affordable ones. I have a video about all of my favorite makeup brushes. I'll put it up here. And the best part about that is all of those brushes are from affordable brands. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Do you use makeup base / primer for the eyes? Yes, I do. I actually have to use an eye primer because I have really oily eyelids and eyeshadow will crease on me so fast if I don't use a primer. Sometimes it still creases on me even with a primer. Cough, cough, Urban Decay. What primer I do use, I usually use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in one of the various formulations. But I also have been known to use Lorac eye primer. I've been known to use Milani's eye primer from time to time. Medusa's Makeup has a primer that I use often, so it changes every now and again. Right now I'm using the Urban Decay one in the shade Eden. For the face primer, I'm a little bit worse at. A lot of the time I'll forget to use face primer just because I can't be bothered. Even though I know it would probably help the longevity of my makeup if I did use it more often. When I do use primer, it's usually my moisturizer, which is Ombre Elise Le Creme or the CeraVe stuff. I'll just kind of let that double as my primer. If I use like proper primer, it changes depending on the moment, I mean, and my mood. Sometimes I'll use this like Smashbox green primer, the L'Oreal Revitalift Miracle Blur I'll use to like smooth away my pores around my nose and such. But yeah, I use all kinds of different stuff. I've used the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm too. It's okay, I guess. I don't really notice a major difference, but I haven't tried it with every single foundation I own, so we will see about that. What is your favorite eyeshadow? Now this is a tough one because if you've seen my 2-part makeup, eyeshadow palette series, I'll put it up there if you want to check it out. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I have like 50 of them, but my favorite eyeshadow, like just all in all, my favorite eyeshadow like brand, I would say is still Lorac with Kat Von D coming in at close second. So a lot of the time, any eyeshadows I'm using on a particular day, unless I'm doing like a special video showcasing a different palette, like from Too Faced or Laura Mercier or whatever, a lot of the time what I'm using is either Lorac or Kat Von D 100% of the time. Next page. Woo! Do you use pencil or liquid eyeliner? Well, there's a typo here. It says, do you use pencil of liquid eyeliner? I'm assuming that means or. And it depends on the look. A lot of the time I end up using pencils because I can't be bothered with liquid. My hands shake like nothing else. And winged liner is really, really difficult for me to do, and it's difficult for someone with my eye shape to pull off. So a lot of the time, if I use eyeliner at all, it will be pencils, and but a lot of the time I'll just use eyeshadow as eyeliner because I just can't be bothered to like go through the hassle of like trying to draw a wing. So unless it's pivotal to the look I'm doing, pencils all day. How often do you poke your eyes with an eyeliner pencil? Not as often as I used to, although it does still happen sometimes. I find that when you practice with eyeliner pencils, you don't poke yourself in the eye as often. I'm more likely to poke myself in the eye with my mascara wand than I ever am with my eyeliner pencil. What do you think of pigment eyeshadows? You mean like loose pigments or like pressed pigments? I love them. I don't have as many of them as I would like to, but a lot of the time pressed eyeshadows are just a lot easier to work with. They're less messy, that sort of thing. So I will usually go for a pressed eyeshadow before I reach for a pigment. My pigments I usually reserve for like, you know, when I'm really looking for something to use in a look. But like Sugar Pill Goldilocks is like one of the best golds on the planet in my opinion, and I don't use it on myself too terribly often, but I use it on clients all the time. So yeah, love them. Do you use mineral makeup? I tried mineral makeup at one point. I have a big container of Bare Minerals original powder foundation, and that worked for the first like 2 times I used it, and then it started making my skin itch, so I think I'm allergic to it. Unfortunately. So I've tried mineral makeup from time to time, but a lot of the time it ends up having something like bismuth oxychloride in it that ends up making my skin itchy, and it's just not a good time. But I'd love to be able to find a mineral makeup line that works for me. What is your favorite lipstick? Oh gosh, that is a loaded question, isn't it? I don't have them with me, but my favorite lipstick brand, you guys already know, is Jeffree Star's Velour Liquid Lipsticks. They are the best lipstick on the planet, in my opinion, hands down, bar none. Just, yeah. My favorite color out of those would be a really tough call. I'm really not sure. I would probably say it's a tie between Celebrity Skin, Dominatrix, and Abused. And Posh Spice is in there too, because I do like that color. But when it comes to the color that, you know, the 1 or 2 colors that I use more than pretty much any of the other ones in my collection, it would have to be Celebrity Skin and Dominatrix. I use those all the time. What is your favorite blush to use? A lot of the time I don't end up using blush because I'm just used to not using blush because I have rosacea. So when I was, you know, earlier in my makeup life, I was so kind of self-conscious about the rosacea that once I covered it up with concealer and whatnot, I didn't really want to bring any redness back into my face by putting blush on. So a lot of the time I don't bother with blush, I'll just put bronzer on and call it a day. But if I'm using blush, it's usually from the Lunatic Cosmetic Labs contour palette because those blushes are beautiful. They're fantastic. I love them. Blush is one of those things that honestly, I don't have one that I use consistently. It's gonna change depending on the look. Do you buy your makeup online? If so, where? I do. There's no Sephora's in Japan at all. No Ulta, no nothing like that. So I will buy makeup out in country from time to time, like I get my moisturizer out in country, and every now and again I'll run into something that's like a Japanese brand that I really want to try, and I'll, you know, bring it home and I'll try it because I love trying Asian makeup, but a lot of their makeup is very kind of small form, if that makes sense. I'm trying to find a good way to explain it. It's like they don't sell like big eyeshadow palettes or anything like that. A lot of the stuff is very individual because makeup in Japan, for the most part, is pretty simplistic. Particularly for like eye looks and stuff like that. They have a lot of quads, you know, trios and duos and stuff like that. And I don't really buy those because I don't use them. I like having a little more variety, so I will go for a large form palette 10 times out of 10 before I will go for a quad or something. But I will occasionally find things out in country, but a lot of the time I end up having to buy my makeup online. And as for places that I shop online for makeup, it depends on what I'm getting. I buy from Ulta, I buy from Sephora, I buy from those two mainly for like the trendy makeup that I want to review for the channel or something. I've bought makeup from QVC before with this Eve Pearl stuff. I buy from brands' websites directly. And when it comes to stuff for my kit, I will usually buy from Friends Beauty. I'll link them below. They're amazing, great stuff. You get a discount when you're a member, stuff like that. I also just ordered a few things from Atomic Cosmetics or Xeron Skin Science. Dr. Jen's makeup, she's amazing. I'll link her too. But yeah, all kinds of different places, but I do order a lot of my makeup online. Do you like drugstore makeup? I do. I mean, I do kind of. Like, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna prefer high-end makeup, but particularly for certain things, I almost like drugstore better than high-end. Like, mascaras. I rarely buy high-end mascara anymore. It's just, a lot of the time, it's not worth it. Like, you're literally coating the little baby hairs on your eyeball. And that just seems silly to me to spend like $20 or $30 on something that you're only gonna have for 3 months and that's coating the baby hairs on your eyeball. Especially since I usually end up wearing false lashes anyway when I wear makeup. I don't bother buying high-end mascara. I just buy, you know, CoverGirl Supersizer. It's an amazing mascara and I leave it at that. There's also some great drugstore eyeshadows now. The drugstore is really upping its game when it comes to makeup. e.l.f. Cosmetics is upping their game. I buy a lot of my brushes and tools from the drugstore just because they're just as good as high-end and they're way cheaper. So yeah, love drugstore makeup. Did you ever consider taking makeup classes? I do want to. I definitely eventually want to get my esthetician's license and actually become like a legit licensed makeup artist. But right now, you know, being a military spouse, moving from place to place, and being overseas, I can't really do that because it's the kind of thing that varies from state to state and you have to go to in-person classes and stuff like that. And I don't think I would ever do like the glam box or whatever it's called, like online makeup schools, because those just sound like a scam to me and I don't like that. So I don't think I'll ever do that. I'll wait until I can do it legit. But yeah, I would definitely take some makeup classes if I could. In the meantime though, I do read a lot of makeup books. Right now I'm working on Kevin Aquan's Making Faces, which is upstairs in my bedroom because I read it before I go to sleep at night. It is largely thought of as the de facto manual on makeup, and it's from Kevin Aquan, who's a legendary makeup artist. I also am working through Face Paint, which is right here, so I can show it to you. This is Face Paint, The Story of Makeup by Lisa Eldridge. I love her. She has a YouTube channel and she's amazing, such a good makeup artist. And this is like a comprehensive history of makeup, which is really cool and really interesting. And it's very, very well laid out. I am really enjoying that so far. Are you clumsy in putting on makeup? It's kind of an odd question. It depends on the day. A lot of it, like, you know, everybody has their good makeup days and their bad makeup days, right? You know, even the pros, even like the super professional makeup artists who have been doing it for decades, who are like absolutely amazing at it, will still get their winged liner uneven from time to time. Makeup is such a fluid thing. It's such a changing thing from day to day that honestly, you know, you could have a really good makeup day one day or a really bad makeup day the next day. How about lip gloss? What's my opinion on lip gloss? Or favorite lip gloss, I guess. I don't wear lip gloss a whole lot. I do use it in my kit because a lot of the lipsticks in my kit are they're liquid to matte lipsticks, so they can be a touch drying. So I will keep a couple of lip glosses in my kit in case ladies find them a little too drying and they need a little bit of that extra moisture. I have a Stila lip gloss. Here, where is it? There it is. This Stila lip glaze in the shade Sugar. It's basically just a clear lip gloss with some glitter in it. I use this in my kit sometimes, although it's really old, so I need to get myself a new clear gloss. But a lot of glosses are just colors anymore. Like nobody's coming out with clear gloss anymore. Name a makeup crime that you hate. I mean, obviously there are no rules in makeup, so technically there are no crimes in makeup, but I think by crime they mean like a faux pas or something. You know, something that I just don't like when people do. There's a couple, but I would have to say if I had to name one, people who use bronzers as contour. That just annoys the shit out of me. Like people who take like Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, so like a neutral warm bronzer, and put it in the hollows of their cheeks. I'm just like, stop! It doesn't look natural. It doesn't, like, it just gets on my nerves because they're like, oh, they literally say it. They're like, oh, I'm gonna take this bronzer and I'm gonna contour with this. And I'm like, if it's called a bronzer, you know, it's meant to be used as a bronzer. Now, if it's like neutral to cool and you want to use it as a contour, great. But if it's got any hint of warmth in it, it's not going to look like a natural shadow, and it's not going to do what contouring is supposed to do. It's just going to look silly, at least in my opinion. I mean, if it works for you, you do you, boo. But I've never seen warm bronzer work as a contour. I always use cool tones. At the most, I will use a neutral brown, but cool tones all the way. That's my biggest makeup pet peeve right now, is people who use warm bronzers to contour. It's just like, no. Do you like colorful shades of makeup or neutral ones? I like both, honestly. I've been doing a lot of colorful looks lately, but I also do a lot of neutral looks. So it sort of depends on the day and how I'm feeling and, you know, how much time I have to get ready and what I'm doing. You know, like if I'm going out with friends or like going to bars and stuff, heck yeah, I'll put on like colorful avant-garde makeup. I don't give a shit. But if I'm doing something that's more on the professional side, you know, like I'm volunteering at the elementary school talent show or something, then yeah, I'll do something a little more neutral. Which celebrity always has great makeup? I don't really keep track of celebrities at all. I don't really care about them, but if I had to name a celebrity that always seems to have really good makeup, Marilyn Manson. I just like that he really doesn't give a shit about what anyone else thinks or about the rules of beauty or anything like that. He just does his own thing, and I love that. On the other end of the spectrum, the little more, you know, wearable side of the spectrum, Dita Von Teese is always flawless. Like, I love her. She's like one of my beauty idols. If you had to leave the house and you only had time to put on one makeup item or product, what would you use? Sunscreen. I know that's not a makeup item, it doesn't count, but when it comes to makeup, I am a go big or go home type of person. I've tried to do the natural makeup. I've tried to do like the no makeup. I've tried to do the just concealer and mascara and lip gloss, and it just doesn't work on me. It doesn't work for me. It feels unfinished. Like I want to finish the rest of the look. So a lot of the time, I'm either going to do a full face of makeup or none at all. Could you ever leave the house without any makeup on? Yes, and I do, frequently. Not wearing any makeup right now. Do you think you look good even without any makeup on? I feel bad for people who think they don't look good without makeup. I think I look okay without makeup. I do think I look better a lot of the time with makeup on, but I mean, I look okay. I look better without all these dots on my face, but hey, what can you do? In your opinion, what is the best makeup line? That's tough, because in my mind, different brands are good at different things. So, you know, like Lorac is one of my favorite brands for eyeshadow. Lunatic Cosmetic Labs is my favorite for like contour and blush. Becca makes really good highlighters. The Balm has really good highlighters too. Urban Decay makes a good eye primer. So it literally depends on what you're looking for, which a lot of people actually ask me this question. They're like, you know, what's your favorite brand of all time? And I'm just like, I mean, it's tough to say. What do you think of makeup? That is a loaded question, and yet not loaded at the same time. Like, I feel like it's not specific enough. What do I think of makeup? I mean, I enjoy it a lot. I think makeup is a great way to express creativity during times where a creative person's normal artistic outlet is somehow not available. So for me, makeup came out of, you know, I normally do burlesque, I normally perform on stage, and makeup kind of came out of a time in my life where I wasn't really getting any shows at all, and my husband was deployed, and so I didn't really have the motivation to create burlesque acts. I was in kind of a burly block. My other performer friends know what I'm talking about. But makeup came out of that. And I think makeup is a great way to, you know, still expend this creative energy, because if you're a creative person like me, you have to be constantly creating something or you get really anxious, really depressed, and you just feel like shit when you can't create something. So I have a bunch of different artistic pursuits that I do, depending on what I feel like doing, what I am able to do, what I have the mental, like psychological capacity to do. And makeup is a great thing for, like, you know, if you're normally a performer and you injure yourself, you know, you hurt your knee or your ankle and you can't work, you know, you can't do any performances for a little while, or you're a writer and you have writer's block. I love makeup for the fact that it's an art form, way of expressing creativity, but it doesn't really require a whole lot in the way of logistics. You know, you can go out to the drugstore and buy a bunch of makeup, and you know, you can sit down and you don't have to like get up and move anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere or do anything. You can just sit down at your little vanity space and be creative. And I love that about makeup. So that's all the questions I've got here. If you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I will be happy to answer them for you in the comments, or if there's a lot of them by some magic, because I normally never get any comments. If there's a lot of them, then I'll go ahead and make an entire separate video on it that's like a Q&A. I am gonna have some more interesting videos coming soon. I'm just, you know, I'm in a weird spot right now, and I've got a lot of things that are taking up a good chunk of my life. And that happens every now and again. You know, you have to step away from one thing for a while and kind of focus on other stuff. So I've been doing that, but I'm gonna try and do my best to really get into YouTube a little more and devote more of my time to it than I have been, just because life's been happening. But I'm gonna try and get it together and have some really cool videos coming up for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching this video and being patient with me and loving to me and all that stuff. Love you. If you did enjoy this video or found it helpful or informative, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt. You know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put up new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Doodles!